morning, good afternoon, good evening. Religion has become the opium of the people, said Karl Marx. I don't know about being the opium, but definitely has had an ill effect, especially in Africa. It has become the excuse for doing nothing. Man is a creature of reason. And it is the ability to think and reason that has made man master of his or her own destiny. And those who have shown again and again the propensity to give up the right to think for themselves have invariably become enslaved, the slave of others. There is nothing wrong with being religious, but there is everything wrong with the thinking that says we should not do what you can do and kneel and pray that God do it for you. Because it's contrary to the whole religious ethos. God is not there to do everything for you. You can do things for yourself. And yet, this has become the bone of contention, particularly in third world countries. Here is somebody talking about religion and how it has affected our people's minds.
Any pastor will tell you, make you fast and pray in 2026. Play this video for them. Sometimes when I speak as directly as I should, some of you whose minds have been religiously enslaved will say, I am not talking like a Christian. Can you imagine? Stupidity is when you keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. What am I trying to say? Jesus will never fix Nigeria for us. He has never fixed any country for anyone. He will never come down to do the work he has empowered you to do. Man is a free will agent who chooses his fate by his actions. So I beg you in God's name, stop praying for God to fix Nigeria. When you will still gladly choose your criminal tribesman or religious man over a credible leader, then by January 11th, you will start a 61-day dry fast for God to magically change Nigeria. Only Nigerians can fix Nigeria. The Chinese fix China. Americans fix America. Australians fix Australia. Spiritualizing Nigeria's problems when we know they that take us anywhere reasonable. Telling people that God will fix Nigeria makes them avoid their responsibility to demand a better nation because they believed you. The hard truth is, God will never come down to demand your rights as citizens. If you choose to suffer till death, God won't stop you either. Teach this truth instead of declaring 3 months of fasting and prayer for a better Nigeria. You do this prayer all the time, yet Nigeria has been on rapid decline. God is not deaf, it is you who is ignorant. Prayer without action is useless. The funny thing is that it is still the same people who voted the criminals into government because of their selfish, religious, or tribal interests. They are still the ones that will come for the fast.
Well, there's a lot of truth in that. In Africa, some of the leaders whom the nation addressed everything to put into positions of power and authority with the designated task to implement the democratic reforms to stop ZANU-PF rigging elections, have not only failed to implement even one token reform in 25 years, including the 5 years in the GNU. Worse still, ever since the GNU debacle, those same individuals have turned around and tried to convince the people that we don't need reforms, that we can win rigged elections. They would even invoke the name of God. Hashtag God is in it. And the tragedy is millions of people have believed it. Zimbabwe is a failed state. That is a fundamental reality that we cannot run away from. We had two options in the late 1990s, by the late 1990s, when we realized that ZANU-PF was rigging the elections, and as long as the regime is able to continue rigging the elections, the country was going nowhere. We had two main options. The number one option is, are we going to take up arms and fight the regime? Because ZANU-PF was never going to give up its dictatorial powers. And the regime was never going to reform itself out of office. The second option was, let's elect opposition leaders who will implement the democratic reforms and thus save us having to go to have yet another armed struggle. The second decision was a sound one. The only problem was, in the 25 years MDC CCC leaders have been in office, they failed to implement any reforms. And we, the people, have failed to take them to task. And it is interesting to note here that some of those individuals who sold out during the GNU are the ones who are giving the nation the falsehoods that we can achieve meaningful democratic change in Zimbabwe without implementing any reforms, because they themselves have plugged all the vote-rigging loopholes, and God was in that scheme. It's an idiotic argument. And after 45 years of rigged elections, for anyone to keep believing that idiotic nonsense is unforgivable. So again, I refer to the original statement I made at the beginning. God does not do for men what men can do for themselves. Most of Zimbabwe, if not all of them, are man-made problems. And with man-made, I mean it is within our mortal ability to solve them. And yet, some of us have become so super religious that we prefer to ask God to solve those problems for us. That's where we're making a mistake. Because God does not interfere, does not do for men what men can do for themselves. Ending this canopy of dictatorship is within our own power as mere mortals to do so. We have not done so all these years because we have been so naive, ignorant, and gullible that we have believed idiotic lies from the likes of Chamisa that he has plugged for drinking loopholes. He even invokes the name of God. Hashtag God is in it. And we have believed those lies again and again and again. The challenge is, are we going to continue believing it in 2028? Think about it. Thank you. Have a good evening.